You know that feeling
Mm.
when you're trying to speak English and it's like there's this lag, like your brain's running Google Translate in slow motion trying to find the right word.
Definitely. It feels like there's this extra step, right? Between thinking something and actually saying it.
Yeah. Have you ever felt that like it's holding you back in a conversation, keeping you from really connecting?
For sure. It's super common. You know what you want to say, but it
Ah.
doesn't come out smoothly. It's frustrating.
Exactly. And that's actually what we're diving into today. We found this really great discussion on the UEP Unlock English podcast YouTube channel about this exact problem.
Ah, yeah, UEP, they do good stuff.
Right. So our mission today is to figure out, why we do this translation thing, how it slows us down, and crucially, get some solid, actionable ways to stop doing it.
So people can speak more naturally, more confidently.
Precisely. We want to give you, the listener, some practical tools to start thinking directly in English.
Yeah, the UEP discussion had some really smart insights. We're going to unpack those and see how you can actually use them.
Okay, let's get right into it then.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we automatically translate in our heads? What's the deal there?
Well, it's actually pretty natural, especially early on. Your
Yeah.
first language, it's your home base, it's the system you already have for thinking, for expressing yourself.
Like a reference point.
Exactly. Think of it like training wheels on a bike. They help you get started. They give you balance when you're wobbly. Your native language is kind of like that for your new language.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the UEP guys pointed out those training wheels eventually got to come off, right? Because relying on translation becomes a problem.
A huge problem for fluency. Yeah, it's like you said, it creates that lag. You're constantly searching for the perfect word-for-word match.
Which, as we know, often doesn't even exist between languages. I think the UEP used an example.
Oh yeah, the classic, it's raining cats and dogs.
Right.
Imagine trying to translate that literally. Someone would be picturing, well, actual cats and dogs falling from the sky. Not helpful.
Uh, Definitely not. So, okay, this mental back and forth, it helps at first, but then it really blocks that natural conversational flow.
Totally. So the big question then becomes, how do we break that habit? How do we retrain our brains to just think in English?
Well, UEP had some really solid strategies. The first big one they talked about was immersion. We hear that word a lot, but they had a good angle on it.
Yeah, the swimming analogy they used was great. You can read about swimming, understand the physics,
Mm-hmm.
but until you actually jump in the water, you're not really learning to swim.
Exactly. And it's the same with English.
Mhm.
Studying grammar, memorizing lists, that's the theory. But you need to surround yourself with it. Podcasts, movies, books, change your social media feeds.
Get it coming at you from all sides.
Right. The more your brain just hears and sees English naturally, the more it starts to absorb it without needing that translation step. It just starts to feel normal.
And that kind of passive absorption, that immersion, it really sets the stage for the next big thing they mention. Actively thinking in English.
Okay, that sounds a bit daunting maybe. Like, how do you just start thinking in another language?
Well, they suggested starting small, really small everyday things.
Like what?
Like, those little thoughts you have all day. I need coffee. Where are my keys? Instead of letting that happen in your native language,
Uh-huh.
consciously try to think it or even just whisper it to yourself in English. I need coffee. Where are my keys?
Okay, so
Yeah.
making English the default setting in your head, little by little.
Exactly. It won't happen instantly, obviously.
Yeah.
But every time you consciously make that switch, you're building that new pathway in your brain.
Okay, I like that. Small steps.
Yeah.
What else? They mentioned something about visuals, right?
Yes. Visual thinking. This is interesting. Instead of focusing on the word first and then maybe translating it, try going straight from the concept to a picture in your head.
So if I think of an apple,
Don't think the word apple or manzana or apfel or whatever. Just picture the fruit. Red, round, crisp.
okay, so bypass the language part initially.
Sort of. You're creating a direct link between the thing itself and the English concept without your native language acting as the middleman.
And you can do that for actions too.
Yeah. Instead of thinking the word for running in your language, visualize yourself doing it. Feel the movement. Connect the English word running directly to that image you're feeling.
Okay, that feels more intuitive somehow.
Yeah.
Less like decoding.
Yeah.
What other techniques did UEP suggest?
They talked about something called shadowing. It sounds a bit weird maybe, but it's supposed to be super
The
effective.
shadowing. Okay, what is that exactly?
You basically listen to a native speaker, like from a podcast, a video, whatever, and you repeat what they say almost immediately after they say it. Like you're their echo or their shadow.
Oh, I see. So mimicking them in real time.
Yeah. The goal isn't even necessarily perfect understanding at first. It's more about catching the rhythm, the intonation, the sounds, the flow.
Hmm.
You're training your mouth and your brain to produce English sounds and patterns without stopping to translate first. And as UAP pointed out, it's amazing practice for your pronunciation and rhythm too. You learn how the language actually sounds when spoken naturally.
That makes a lot of sense. Learning the music of the language almost.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What was another practical tip?
This one's super easy to implement, like right now for most people. Change your phone's language setting to English.
Oh, that's clever. So the whole interface, your apps,
Yeah.
social media, everything's in English.
Yep. Think about how many times you look at your phone each day. Hundreds, probably.
Yeah, probably too many.
Right. So if it's all in English, you're constantly interacting with the language, reading notifications, navigating menus. Your brain just starts processing it directly because it has to. No time to translate. It just becomes part of your routine.
That's like built-in micro-immersion. Sneaky, but effective.
Ah.
Okay, what else could we do?
UEP suggested narrating your day in English out loud.
Okay, wait. Like talking to myself as I go about my day.
Pretty much. It might feel a bit awkward, yeah, especially if you live with other people or pets.
I'm picturing myself like I am now pouring cereal.
Exactly. I'm making coffee, I'm chopping onions, I'm looking for my keys again. It sounds silly, but it forces your brain to actively produce English sentences about what's happening right now.
So it's not just thinking, it's actually verbalizing it.
Right. It's like building muscle memory for speaking, getting your brain used to forming those English sentences on the fly, shifting that mental default.
Okay, I can see that. Even if my cat judges me. What else is on the list?
Using mental checklists in English, this combines being organized with language practice.
How did that work?
Simple things you do every day, like before leaving the house, instead of just grabbing stuff, mentally run through a checklist in English. Phone check, keys check, wallet check.
Ah, so quick little bursts of English thought tied to routine actions.
Exactly. Easy to weave into your day. And related to that, they also mentioned mental journaling.
Like writing in a diary, but just in your head.
Sort of, yeah. Doesn't have to be long or complicated. Just take a few moments, maybe at the end of the day or whenever, to think about what happened, how you're feeling, what your plans are, but do it in English. Even just short mental notes.
So again, just making English the language you use for that internal processing.
Precisely. It's all about increasing the amount of time your brain operates in English. And one more strategy, which sounds kind of fun,
Fun is good. What is it?
playing with the language.
Playing. How?
UEP suggested things like word games, 20 questions, hangman, maybe with friends who are also learning, or using language learning apps that have games.
Ah, so making it less like homework and more like, well, playing.
Exactly. When it's fun, your brain's more open to it. Games often require quick thinking, quick responses.
Which pushes you to think in English, not translate first.
Bingo. You don't have time to overthink or translate, you just react in English.
Okay, so if we pull all this together, immersion, thinking in English, visuals, shadowing, phone settings, narrating, checklists, mental journaling, playing games, the big takeaway from UEP is pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah. Stop translating. Start thinking in English. That's the core shift.
And all these techniques are just different ways to help retrain your brain to do that automatically.
Right. You're building new habits, new mental pathways.
And it's really crucial to remember, like UEP stressed, this takes time. It takes patience. You won't just flip a switch.
Oh, absolutely. You will slip back into translating sometimes. That's totally normal. The key is to just notice it, don't beat yourself up, and gently redirect your thoughts back to English.
Be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small wins.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And please, please don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn. Seriously. Fluency isn't about being perfect.
It's about communicating effectively, right?
Exactly.
So to really push people to try this, UEP had a cool idea, a 24-hour challenge.
Yeah, the challenge.
The idea is, for the next 24 hours, make a real conscious effort to think only in English.
Describe stuff around you, talk to yourself internally, narrate what you're doing, all in English.
And if you catch yourself translating,
Just stop, notice it, and then try to rephrase the thought directly in English.
UEP admitted it might feel weird or tiring at first.
Oh, it probably will. It's like using a muscle you haven't used much, but sticking with it for that full 24 hours can really help you feel that initial shift start to happen.
It's an experiment, right? A way to jumpstart the process.
Exactly. Give your brain a focused workout.
So we really encourage you, our listeners, to maybe try this challenge, or at least pick one or two of these strategies we talked about today and start working them into your routine.
Yeah, you absolutely can make this shift towards thinking in English. It just takes that consistent effort. Start small, be persistent.
We believe you can do it. You'll likely surprise yourself.
Definitely. So get out there, give it a try, and start thinking in English.
And, as a final thought, consider this. When you start changing your internal monologue, that constant voice in your head, to English, how might that change more than just your language skills? Could it actually shift your perspective a bit? Maybe deepen your connection to the English-speaking world in ways you don't expect? It's something to think about.